Hey guys, it's Alice. Welcome to my channel. This is a 1940s inspired makeup and hair look. Today is Remembrance Day, so in honor of this day, I wanted to create a look inspired by the woman of this era. I never actually tried my hand in creating a look from this era, but from researching, I realized the makeup is so simple. And so if you want to see how I created this look, please keep watching. Starting off with a bare face, as you can see, my skin is having a bit of a moment, but don't worry, we can cover it up. We want that flawless skin that these women had. So I'm taking the Nivea Men Post Shave Balm as my primer. Don't look at me like that, it works a treat. And just take a little bit on your hand, it goes a long way. Rubbing my hands together, I then work the balm into my face.
Oh, honey.
I'm now taking a colour correcting stick just to calm down all the redness on my face, targeting the areas where I feel there's the most discoloration. I'm blending the corrector into my skin just to give a slight hue of the colour. We don't want to be green. Using a MAC foundation, I'm shaking it up at first just to get the product moving in the bottle. Taking my cedar sponge, I sort of use it as a palette, dropping some of the foundation onto it, or at least I try. Finally getting the amount of foundation I want, I use the cedar sponge to spread the foundation evenly around the face. I then take a beauty blender to fully blend in the foundation, creating a flawless finish. Seeing that there's a few dark spots showing through, a bit annoying but fixable, I'm taking my concealer, focusing the product on those areas. I then like to wait a bit just to let the concealer sink in and actually dry up just a bit before I blend in. I do this because I believe that if you blend it in straight away while it's still wet, you just blend away the concealer and not blend it in. I don't know if this is actually the case, but I feel like it is, so this is the technique I use. Also, if you noticed, I'm using a tapping motion, not a rubbing one. I don't want to rub away the concealer, I want to tap it into the skin. I'm taking my Fenty contour stick and lightly brushing it underneath my cheekbones, blending it away seamlessly. Using a MAC powder contour, I'm laying it on top of where I placed the Fenty contour, while also dusting it along my temples and forehead area. Taking this Maybelline Mousse blush, I'm actually using a technique called the tri-dot system, and this is the technique they used back in the 1940s. Not something I would normally do, but always good to try something new. I start to blend it out with my fingers to the point where the blush is almost invisible. I also take that same beauty blender I used for the foundation to blend it out even more. The face is complete, and now we can move on to the eyebrows. We've zoomed in so you guys can see all the details. I'm taking the Benefit Browsings from my brow product. Using the powder side first, I'm filling in my eyebrows. I know in the 1940s the brows are meant to be razor thin, but I'm actually basing my look off the beautiful Marley Fong, who was a 1940s Asian American actress, and her brows were bomb. So that's my reason for not doing the thin eyebrows. Maybe in another look I'll dabble into that, but for now I'm using the wax part of the palette to help define the brow a bit more. I'm now taking my brow pen and I'm coating my brush with some of the product from the sponge to deepen the colour. I don't want my brows to be too intense. The idea is for them to be lightly defined. With my brows finally on, we can now move on to the eyes. I'm of course taking my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer in shade Eden, and I'm swiping just a bit of the product onto the eyelids and blending it out with my fingers. Using the Urban Decay Ultra Basics eyeshadow palette, I'm dipping into Faith, which is the lightest brown shade from the palette. I'm then brushing it onto the top half of my eyelid, just underneath the brow bone, creating a wash of brown on my eyes. We don't want to create any harsh edges to the look, so I'm not winging out the eyeshadow like I normally would do. I'm creating a soft, diffused edge for this look. Wanting to intensify the brown a bit more, I'm using Lockout, which is the darker brown shade from the palette. I'm placing Lockout on top of where I placed Faith, however, I'm gently diffusing it down onto the main part of the eyelid, just so the whole lid has a light wash of brown to it. Using a small blending brush, I'm taking Lockout again and running it underneath my eyes, sort of creating a soft halo of brown on the eyes. Needing an even darker shade of brown, I'm taking the Smashbox Ablaze palette and using the shade Dark Horse, which is this rich chocolatey brown. I'm creating a very small wing on my eye with a tiny angled brush. Since I'm using eyeshadow, I have to keep on dipping my brush back into the palette to slowly build up the wing. Normally, with an eyeliner pen, you can just do the wing in one stroke, but I found that the bold black line was just not right for this era. Don't get me wrong, I love a bold wing, but just not for this look. Using the same small blending brush from before, I'm slowly diffusing the edges of the wing to seamlessly blend into the rest of the eyeshadow. realising I've blended the edges a little too well, I'm going in with a denser blending brush, dipping it into Dark Horse again. I'm gently patting in the shadow over the wing and blending it out at the same time until I get the right depth of colour for the wing. Finally, happy with the wing, I'm now coating both the top and bottom eyelashes with the Clinique mascara. Feeling there was something missing with the eye look, I realised I need to line the waterline. So using the same small angled brush and dark brown shadow, I'm carefully lining the outer half of my waterline where the wing is the thickest. If you notice, I'm not using any black shadows for this look. Black is definitely quite a harsh shade, so we want to use browns to softly accentuate the eyes. So the last step for the makeup look is lipstick, and from the photo, Mario Fong's lip shade was a deep cherry colour, and from looking at all my lipsticks, I realised I do not have that colour. So you can watch me struggle to find a lip shade that matches the colour or as close to as I can get. Opting for the MAC liquid lipstick in shade Carnivorous, which is actually from a retro line they sell, so I figured that was probably the best way to go since the colour is meant to look retro. I'm quickly applying the liquid lipstick to my lips before it fully dries because I want to blot off the excess colour. And I find that with liquid lipstick it dries very quickly, and so if you are using liquid lipstick, work fast. If you want to blot your lipstick as well, grab a tissue, put it between your lips and gently press the tissue on top of the lipstick. Carefully remove the tissue and your lips are blotted. Try not to move the tissue around while pressing it to your lips. You don't want to smudge the lipstick. So the makeup is finally completed and now we can move on to the hair. Let me just say, I tried to take off the lipstick from my hand when I was testing it, but I used the tissue and it just smudged the lipsticks everywhere. And I was just too lazy to properly take it off, so for the rest of the video, I'm going to have a red hand. Time to take out this hair. I've used the technique of ragging, which is a heatless way to curl your hair, and women have been using this technique for centuries. And if you want to know how to do this technique, I have a whole video covering this technique and a few other heatless ways to curl your hair. I can link the video up in the eye and in the description below if you want to check it out. Look at that curl! So I'm continuing to take out all the rags and just let the curls breathe a bit before I start the next step. Taking an old spray bottle which is filled with water and a hairbrush, I'm squirting the water onto the brush and then I'm running the damp brush through the curls, attempting to tame this beast of a hair. Realising this attempt is futile with just water, I grab some Moroccan oil, pouring a bit into my hands and running the product through with my fingers in an attempt to help calm the frizz while I try and style this hair nest into the idea of the Marcel wave. I'm not sure if I succeeded, I'm not very good at this, and the hair is definitely not a Marcel wave. That was the idea I was going for, but it's a curl, so some success I guess. But anyway, this is the completed makeup and hair look. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Comment below if you think I should do another makeup and hair look from an era. I'm thinking 60s or 80s. They're decisions. But tell me your thoughts and subscribe to my channel and I'll see you again.